You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, YouTube, bringing you a special segment here with the man himself.
Me, Miguel from Always Evolving.
And we are going to do this in a two-part, and so you are watching one of the parts. The other one will be on Miguel's vlog. So if you're watching this one first, go see his next.
Yes.
And if you're watching this one second, welcome to JKR's vlog.
No, I think they'll watch yours first. I hope so, because I'll end up sharing it. Because I'm gonna do mine the next day afterwards.
Oh, okay.
You know, so
there you go.
Yeah.
So make sure you check this out. We took questions from Instagram, put on the stories for you guys to submit some questions, and we had quite a few actually.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to ask them all, but we went through and found some that we think would be, or interesting to talk about. And we're just going to kind of play it by ear and riff off each other a little bit, and maybe we'll go into some weird stuff, and maybe we won't.
Yeah, which I think this is going to be really good, man, because you get some knowledge from one that's been doing it for, what is it, 15, 12 years now?
18.
18 years?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was 15. And then someone's been doing it for 3, going on 4 years now. So, kind of get like a beginner.
Different perspectives.
And,
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's start out from Kobylka Reptiles. So, man, you've already built a huge kind of social media empire in your short little time.
Yeah.
You've really focused on that. It's been huge. So this will be a good one for you to start with. So any advice for those of us who are more introverted, don't care as much for the sales and social media aspect of the hobby? We want to make amazing stuff, and of course make money. How do we work with that?
With social media?
Yeah, how do you do it if you're not necessarily really comfortable on social media?
Ooh,
it's not who you are.
Yeah. Well, I don't think social media is a must to do, for one. I know a lot of people. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I think if anything, it's gonna be better. I mean, it's free advertisement, right? But when I first started this, I thought that was like the main thing you had to do, especially in the snake industry. But then I met so many people that have no social media that I call like underground breeders that are doing really, really good. And they're not even heard of. But let me tell you, people in the snake game know who these people are, and they don't need to rely on social media whatsoever. Let me tell you.
I think social media to an extent is of course helpful, but the reality is the animals sell themselves.
Yep.
And morph market has kind of been the big equalizer of our industry, because the reality is whether they know you from YouTube or they don't, if you make something that's really special and you're the only one got it, who else are they going to buy it from?
Exactly.
So and the demand is generally greater than the supply of almost everything out there. So not necessary. Sure, it's always helpful, but I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that you really need to focus on.
For sure. Okay. Next question. Is there a proven data that that proves ball pythons will or will not get stuck on ASFs once you try them?
I have no idea because I've never tried ASFs whatsoever. So you might have a better,
ASFs are actually illegal in Georgia.
They're illegal here too, by the way.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm very limited experience with them, but I think that's misunderstood, ASFs. In my experience, something that will eat, that won't eat a rat, if it'll eat an ASF, it'll eat a mouse. It's like an alternative smell to them sometimes. Yeah. And I know some people who will say, oh, my snake won't eat rats, and so I'm going to just not feed it until it starts eating rats again. And I'm not going to get an ASF because I don't want to get stuck on. It's like, well, do you want your snake to not eat for 6 months?
Yeah.
Or do you want it to start eating ASFs or mice or whatever and eat the full 6 months and eventually go back? They never stay stuck forever.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, from my experience, again, I have 200 females here, and I have 5 of them that just eat mice, and I've tried everything. But I'm fine with giving them mice. It doesn't bother me. As long as they're eating,
but what's
I'm happy
the alternative? Nothing, right?
No,
because you're not going to eat rats either.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did talk about it.
It's a tiny percentage,
yeah.
though, isn't it? I mean,
there is little methods, though, right, that you were actually telling me, right? I mean...
Yeah. So. But you could put in a mouse and then put in a rat right after. Sometimes they just go off that scent of the mouse. You can scent things. There's lots of things you can do, but for the most part, I think it's overblown to say that don't feed this because it's going to get stuck on it. The reality is you want them to eat. And to me, that's most important, number one.
100%.
You don't do it the very first meal they skip, but if it's going off a long feed for a long time, you get nervous, throw a mouse in there, let the thing eat.
Yep.
Let's take care of the animal. All right, next one. This is a question about putting together a collection. So if you had to choose for a long-term project, would you A, pair two double visual recessives, like 2 clown pies, for example, to make quad heads? I guess it'd be different double recessives.
Yeah.
To make quad heads. Or would you buy a pair of double visual recessives that are the same, just to fix your odds, make them all double recessive, and go from there with just powerhouses?
I myself personally would go with the double visuals to make quads.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And so that has got to go with a caveat, though, I think, because if you do it that way, you are putting off your financial success
for a couple
good
years.
ways into
Yeah.
the future, because it's going to be hard to hit the odds when it comes to that, okay? Where if you do two double visuals that are the same, you're going to get that financial money. However, you're not really pushing yourself into the future at all. All you're doing is cashing in on what you have with no...
Now, if I had the big enough collection to, to do it like the way I want to, yes, I do like that. But if I'm doing something that's gonna, that I'm worried about, getting my finances right and getting money out of it, then I do it the other way.
Right.
So I guess there's
it's got to be according to.
Yeah.
You can put off the return on your investment. I think making the quads and going into the future is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you know when it's time to pay for a facility? That's something you've done more recently. So what do you think?
Honestly, when you make enough money to buy or build a facility.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that. I mean, that.
When your wife says you can't have them in the house anymore, that's the time.
Yeah. When your wife's like, all right, there's no more space in there.
That's right.
But
if it's either I leave or the snakes leave, maybe it's time to. Build a facility.
like with me, not to get off subject, but I started off in my room, then it grew a little out of there. The addiction went to the garage. Then from the garage, it went fully onto that room, but I just took everything out. But then when financially I started doing really good and I started seeing the return investment, then I started realizing, I was like, oh wow, I need something bigger. And then my wife's like, yeah, go ahead and do it.
Sure.
And then we still have animals in there.
You do need a little bit of proof of concept, right? You know it's working.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Versus just toss it at the very beginning.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So I everything that got purchased inside here, it was out of all my snake cells and everything. I don't want to come out of pocket anymore as an investment. This all, the snakes paid for itself.
Reinvestment. Yeah. Good call. All right. Do you think there's such a thing as getting into too many recessives? I'm working with 4 recessives right now. I'm afraid I spread myself too thin. On that one, I'll answer that to start. I think you can. I think that it depends on your situation. If you have a large, say a building this size, you can definitely get 3 or 4 recessive projects and do them good justice.
Yeah.
If you're down to just a couple, 5-stack racks, it's going to be really hard for you to actually go deep enough with those recessives to really make a really strong impact in what you're making value and everything. I think you better to go in deep on a couple versus going spread too thin if you don't have the collection size to go deep on them all.
100% agree.
Yeah, and start with something. And I think too, it's better to be known for something that you're really, really making interesting stuff with than make mediocre stuff across many projects where you don't have claim to fame.
Yeah, exactly. We were just talking about this recently. Yeah.
Yeah, from the market perspective. All right. Here's one. Where do most of your sales come from, Miguel? Like platform?
Mine, from YouTube. Yeah. YouTube and Instagram have been the best for me. Second would be Morph Market.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so directly message through YouTube.
Yeah.
And Instagram.
Yeah, because they'll message. Usually when I do a video, they'll come up and then they'll email me, and if not, they'll go through my Instagram and then go from there.
They see it on there 1st. Like, I want that. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. For me, it's a Morph Market or just direct through other stuff. Morph Market's pretty huge, but generally when I put on YouTube, maybe it's delayed by a little bit. Those animals aren't actually available typically. So, I don't know. Maybe that's good for this one. Maybe we should swap to the other video and let this go on your channel.
All right, let's do that then, man. So cool. So I guess we'll leave this at the part 1.
All right. Tune in, part 2, right here.